Hello Year 9, today we are focusing on Chapter 2 of Animal Farm. I've done a handy little video of my dulcet tones reading Chapter 2. Your teacher should have sent you the link, so if you don't want to read it independently, then feel free to have a watch of that video as well. So, Chapter 2. For your do now, I would like you to read the following information about Napoleon Bonaparte, and I would like you to summarise it in your own words. So that means bullet points are absolutely fine. You are condensing the information down. And if you're feeling extra snazzy, there is a challenge for you too. So, Napoleon fought in the French Revolution, which was effectively where French society decided they didn't want the royal family anymore, and so they overthrew them. This was in the 1700s. After this, he eventually took control of the French army, declared himself emperor, and tried to take over the world. An ambitious man, to say the least. So you are going to summarise that information. If you have done that without a second thought, you need to think about how you could link this to the context that you've studied already on Animal Farm. So complete that task, pause the video, and then return when you have done it. The Three Little Pigs. No, not the fairy tale. We are going to be meeting the three pigs of Animal Farm that are going to be very significant. So, Napoleon, Snowball and Squealer. Now, you are going to have to read the description independently. You can access the link, but it is in the very opening of Chapter 2, so the first few paragraphs. There's quite a weighty description of all three of them. So, once you have read it, you will need to come back and do this. So, for Napoleon, 3 key quotes that show us what he's like, and the same for Snowball and Squealer. So I'd like you to go away, read that first little bit of Chapter 2, and then come back and complete this task. Pause the video now. I tricked you, I've already done it. So, what I need you to do with these quotations, if you haven't already written them into your books, is annotate around them, so make notes. What do they suggest about each of the characters? So let's look at Napoleon first. He is rather fierce looking. Not much of a talker, and he's got a reputation for getting his own way. So let's think about what we can infer. If he doesn't really speak to people, but he still gets his own way, then what can we infer about his character? What might he be like? What sort of people get their own way? Or characters, he's a pig. What sort of characters get their own way without really having to say anything? Now, Snowball is more vivacious, so that just means lively. He's quicker in speech and he's more inventive, so he's clearly quite a charismatic character. People listen to him. He's quite compelling. And then finally, Squealer, who's described as a talker. He's got twinkling eyes, he's a brilliant talker. He could turn black into white. So for Squealer, we know that he's quite a convincing character. He is incredibly persuasive. So make some notes around your quotations, pause the video and come back when you're done. Okay, I'm now going to ask you to go off and read the rest of Chapter 2. It's not particularly long, and again, please watch that YouTube video of me literally reading out Chapter 2 if you can't bear the thought of doing it alone. Come back when you've done it. Don't try and cheat, you won't be able to, you need to have read the chapter. Okay, so moving on to the commandments. I would like you, in your exercise books, to respond to these questions. Firstly, in your opinion, are the commandments fair? This is where I've caught you if you haven't actually read it. You're going to have to find out what the commandments are. So, are they fair in your opinion? Do they work as laws? So, do you see the animals sticking to them? Should the animals be held accountable? Are they clear? So, can anyone get confused about them? How closely do the commandments reflect what Old Major wanted? So refer back to Chapter 1 when he was talking about his dream of liberation and equality for all animals. Do the commandments comply with his vision? Now, would any of the animals disagree with any of the laws? And why? So in your exercise books, respond to those questions. Don't just write answers. I would like you to be writing in full sentences, and then come back when you're done. So what I would like from you, Year 9, is for you to create your own 7 commandments in rank order. So that means the most important one comes first and the least important one comes last. So you've got to think about, in your opinion, what the most important rules are for everyone in society to follow. You've got to be considering all aspects of life. So, I don't know, you've got to make sure that it's not, I can have my phone 24 hours a day, because it's got to be applicable to everyone. So you've got to consider all types of people. Think about what you would change about the way we live now. You are the future, so you might as well think about what could be improved and how we could do it. So you're going to write them in your book, please, and then come back when you're done. And finally, it's a nice short one for you, you know. Finally, given everything we've learnt so far about the 3 main pigs, which one do you think would be the best leader of Animal Farm and why? So you've got Napoleon, who's the fierce looking one that doesn't talk but gets his own way. You have got Snowball, who is vivacious, so he's quite charismatic, really good at talking. And then you've got Squealer, who is very persuasive. Which pig do you think would make the best leader? Respond in your books, justify your ideas, and that is all for today. Have a lovely day.